Hello and welcome to the Fabulous Women Podcast Studio. I'm your host, Kim Allen, and I'm always excited for my guests, but I'm really excited today because we have such a special program for you. I want to first welcome Michelle Conway. Michelle, how are you?
Thank you. Hello, Dr. Kim Allen. It is my pleasure to be in this room with you. You are a new friend to me, but already a dear friend to me, and I am very grateful to be here. So thank you.
I'm giving you hearts. Okay.
I'll give you one right back.
I've never started off a podcast with someone being mad at me, but I think Michelle might be mad at me. All right, because I've got to tell everyone up front. Okay, I'm giving away the secret. The title of this episode is called PhD at 30, the discipline of becoming. So you know what that means? This is Dr. Michelle Conway. Michelle is going to be walking May 9th.
Yes, that's correct.
And I don't know what she's waiting for personally, but she is allowed technically to officially call herself Dr. Michelle Conway, which is actually on the thumbnail photo of this podcast, which is going to live on my YouTube channel. So at the end of the day, I'm going to call you Dr. Conway. How's that sound?
I am owning it because of you. I know I talked to you about my hesitancy, but you are so right. I am done and dusted. I believe in a finish line, and that's why that May 9th date is so important to me. But I have made it to the finish line, and I will cut through the tape on May 9th, but the tape is already broken. I'm just doing my final sprint through. So I will arrive today with you for the first time as Dr. Conway.
I love that. Oh my gosh. They should invent a special brand of coffee or a flavor of coffee for moments like these.
Oh, what would you call it? What would the flavor be?
Oh, Pretty Michelle.
Oh, you're so sweet.
That's what I would call it. Absolutely, because you're amazing. You're going to find out in a few minutes, my friends, why she's so amazing. I just want to let everyone know that depending on where you go, but I think this is pretty much the practice that when you defend your dissertation, sometimes they'll make the candidate, me, or in this case, Michelle, leave the room and they have their conversation and they bring you back in and they introduce you for the first time. And I don't know about you, Michelle, but I had my family there. Oh, we all cried. But it was so wonderful because that's really when you feel it, when they're saying that to you, right? The people in your dissertation committee. So
of course.
Right?
Yeah, so a very special moment. I did not decide to have my family join me, although they would have, but I felt like the process was so individual to me and independent to me. I just needed to have that moment alone. And it was emotional and wonderful. But the first time you are called that in a formal way, it feels different and it feels very special.
It's surreal. It really is. It's really a very special moment. So anyway, so what I'm going to do, Dr. Conway, if it's okay with you, I want to set the stage for everyone watching and listening and read your bio to the audience. Is that okay?
Of course, yes.
Great. And then we'll get into the questions. I don't ever memorize a bio, everyone, because bios are really important. I think it explains the background and it does set the stage so that everyone understands why not only is Dr. Michelle Conway so awesome, but you'll now feel what I felt after I met her. She's just really unbelievable. So Dr. Michelle Conway is an award-winning entrepreneur, author, educator, and motivational speaker with a passion for empowering young professionals. She currently serves as an instructor of entrepreneurship and management at Misericordia University's College of Business. Michelle's the author of a book called If You're in Your 20s, Read This, which encourages young professionals to embrace their unique journey, celebrate their experience, and transform. She is the founder and host of the Orange Butterfly Effect podcast. I love that. Oh my gosh. Love that. I love that. We're going to talk about colors. That's so cool. With a deep commitment to business growth and individual development, Michelle has mentored over 300 businesses in various critical areas, including business development, business planning, market analysis, leadership development, and strategic planning. Michelle actively engages in leadership activities and contributes to professional organizations. She serves as the faculty advisor of Misericordia's Business Professional Association, BPA, and the Collegiate Division of Future Business Leaders of America, FBLA. As a proud alumna of Wilkes University, Michelle attained her MBA with a concentration in leadership and completed her undergraduate studies in marketing with high honors. Of course she did.
Oh, you're sweet.
Committed to her continuous growth and knowledge, Dr. Conway completed her PhD in corporate leadership from Alvernia University.
Thank you. That was kind of you to read my bio in full length. I appreciate you taking the time to do that.
I think everyone needs to know that background about you. And I would have never even attempted to try to memorize that, because you know what? I really believe that a lot of the fabulous women that are on my podcast, they do amazing things. And I don't want to give 2 lines. I want to give something longer than that. So I am so excited. So Dr. Conway, before we begin, is there anything that you would like to say, that you would like to add?
I would say it is very interesting to be on this side of the microphone. As you mentioned, I have a podcast, The Orange Butterfly Effect, and I find a lot of joy in hearing the stories that other thought leaders have to share.
Right.
So I'm a little nervous for this conversation because I'm not usually on this side of the mic.
Okay.
So I just want to share that with you and say I feel very comfortable in this space and I'm looking forward to sharing, but this is not usually the chair that I'm in.
Oh, well, see, I want to know everything about you. I'm so curious. Hey, I do have a quick question. How did you come up with the name of the Orange Butterfly Effect for your podcast? That's very cool.
Oh, thank you for asking. So the Orange Butterfly Effect is really focused on the transformation, the personal and professional transformation that we go through as people. And I really wanted to have a flair of positivity to that. And orange is a very positive color. And of course, when you think about the butterfly effect in psychology, it's the ripple effect that occurs when we make small changes over time. So when the forces combined, that is how I came up with the name, the Orange Butterfly Effect.
I love that. It's so you.
Thank you.
I know you this much, but I've known you forever. And for anyone who's watching or listening, I just want you to take note. This young woman just turned 30. Okay. When I was 30, I wish I had people. I would have been Dr. Michelle Conway at 30 if I had mentors and sponsors. I'm not saying that you did or did not, Michelle, but what I'm saying is it's so important that people open doors, and when they find talent, to push those people forward, right? I mean, you're so committed to what you do, and I'm just so hopeful for the future because of people like Dr. Michelle Conway. I mean, you're a gem, you're a treasure. And I haven't even begun asking her the questions yet.
Well, you nailed it. I have had and do have many mentors, and I am a combination of all of those people plus myself. And I am so ever grateful for those relationships.
Yeah, absolutely. Can we give one shout out to Paul Nardone? Paul Nardone. Okay.
Our treasure. Paul Nardone is a treasure.
He's a national treasure. And I don't think people know that he's the talent scout. He's the official talent scout and mascot for the Fabulous Women Podcast Studio. I don't know if anyone knew that, but Paul is. Now. Right? Paul? Okay. All right. So we are now going to begin with questions. I always break up my questions into different buckets. Just because I'm very interested in different facets of my very special guests like you. So the first one, Dr. Conway, is going to be about your journey. So you earned your PhD at 30. What did the process of becoming, so the process of becoming is really what would be in quotes. What did the process of becoming teach you that the credential itself never could?
As you know, you have the very best questions. And I love this first question. What I love most about it is that you are referencing the process of becoming.
Yes.
And that is my major takeaway in reflection.
Okay.
That becoming should be a process, and the process is messy. Within that process, we figure things out.
Yeah.
And from that is how I built confidence in myself at a young age. I don't know, Kim, if I ever want to become. I was really thinking about that. I think I always want to be in this phase of becoming.
Right.
Because if I am, then I'm learning, I'm evolving, I'm absorbing, and that's what fills me up.
Right.
So I'll start there, and then of course we can play with
Yeah.
this, but I love the process of becoming, and I hope that I can always be in that process.
Well, you will be, because exactly what you just explained. So just to parallel you with my life,
Yeah.
because you don't want to become, you want to be becoming. I have not reached become yet.
That just gave me the chills. I know.
Right?
And I know I don't know you well, but I know that just from our short interactions together that
I know.
you feel the vibrations of becoming.
Absolutely. And I am always doing. I'm always thinking there's no limit. And I know some people that they say, oh, when I'm 50, I'm going to have enough money saved so I can retire. And I'm like, why would you, I don't understand that at all. But I do believe that you are never going to become, because you're always going to be in a state of becoming because of that process. I love that. My gosh, we could end the podcast now. That's your takeaway, everyone, right?
I don't want to go. I don't want to
go. Okay. So before academia, you were an entrepreneur. So what was the name of your company?
Ray Sleeves. My middle name is Ray. Yeah.
Oh, I was wondering. Okay. So how did Ray Sleeves shape the scholar and leader that you are today?
Let me share two things about this first.
Okay.
So Ray Sleeves taught me two really critical lessons. And it was in reflection that those lessons came to me. I did not learn them until after the fact. Number one is to celebrate failure. And number two, personally, if I'm not all in, that means I'm out.
Oh.
Those are the two lessons that I take away from my time as a failed entrepreneur. And I'll share that with you very briefly. So Ray Sleeves was an apparel company that manufactured sheer fashion accessory sleeves for women. So you can think about tights, but for your arms.
Right.
And I went through the manufacturing process. I went to market. I did the thing, as we like to say.
Okay.
But when I was in the process of really making the decision to grow and scale the company, I did not have the belly burn around the brand. I didn't feel it. I didn't feel it, Dr. Kim Allen.
Okay.
And that taught me a lot, because what I realized throughout the process is that I wanted to be all in and feel that belly burn when I was committing my time, energy, and resources to something.
Right.
So those are my two main takeaways. And I take that now into my identity as a scholar and as a leader by ensuring that I celebrate my failures often. I still fail every day at many things. And I'm grateful for that. And then to make sure I'm all in and do a gut check before I fully commit.
Yeah. No, I love that. And just because at any point in your career, and especially if you're good at doing that, but you're not feeling it. I mean, I don't know if people need permission to exit stage left, but I'm giving it to you. And I think that Michelle just gave that to you also.
Exit.
Exit stage left, girl, right?
When you know, you know.
When you know, you know. I agree. I love that. All right. Wow. Now we can really end the podcast because we just gave people permission.
I really don't want to end. Let's keep going.
Honey, so for everyone, we're going to be on for 5 hours. All right. So my next bucket is about reflection, because I think that's your middle name. I know it's Ray, but I think the R stands for reflection. So you often speak about reflection as a practice rather than a pause. When did reflection become a discipline for you?
The fact that you put discipline and reflection in the same question makes me very happy, because it is indeed a discipline.
Okay.
And it needs to be intentional.
Okay.
And I learned this from a dear mentor of mine. His name is Don Schalk.
Okay.
I worked with him at Albernia University, and he taught me to always end the day with 3 questions. 1, what did I do well today?
Okay.
What did I not do well today?
Okay.
And what could I do tomorrow?
Ooh.
And ever since I learned that from him, I have incorporated it into my life. So that may have been now 4 years ago that I started asking myself those 3 questions. They have evolved over time, but only slightly.
Right.
Now, in that last question, I add? What could I do to make myself 1% better tomorrow?
Ooh,
Incremental.
wow.
Yeah.
That, that,
And
that's great. I like
it-
that.
it's a practice. It is
It
a
is.
practice, but it
Yeah,
has to be intentional because it's really easy to go to bed at night without asking myself those three questions.
right.
But
There's
I
a
make
book.
sure I do.
There's a book called Atomic Habits, and that actually right, it parallels at 1%. I love that. Wow.
That 1% was inspired by Atomic Habits. That is not my own. I took that from James
Oh no, I'm
Clear
not.
and Atomic Habits and put it
Yeah,
into my world.
that is a great book. But so is your book too. All right. So in environments that reward speed and productivity, how do you protect space for contemplation and meaning making?
It really is the intentionality
Yeah.
and the ability to make it habitual and a
Yes.
part of your routine.
Yes.
It is very easy for us, especially as high achieving, potentially type A people,
Yes.
to make promises to ourselves and then let the other things, the priorities, I'm
Right.
putting in quotations,
Right.
take over.
Yes.
But if we allow that to happen and we don't practice reflection, then those priorities, in my opinion, are not going to come to fruition, or those goals, let's say, to the degree that they could have if we spent
Right.
time reflecting.
Right.
So I think it's the intentionality. I'll answer the question as simply as that. We need to be
Yeah.
intentional about practicing and make
Right.
it a part of our daily routine.
Yeah, I think it's really important because, again, this is flowing beautifully from that wonderful mentor from Alvernia University, that gentleman who gave you those 3 questions, because you're doing that with intention, which has become a habit because every night you're doing that.
I am.
So I think that's fantastic. I think I'm going to steal from you. So it's official, everyone. I'm stealing from Michelle. Tonight, I'm
Take
going
it.
to, yes, before I fall asleep, I'm going to think of those 3 things. Okay.
And I
So
do, can I just talk about speed and productivity for a moment?
absolutely.
Sometimes when I share that reflection is so important, I think people may think that it slows us down. Or I even think that to myself. Like
Right.
I productivity is really important to me, and I enjoy the noise and the vibrations that happen in this world and moving
Right.
forward.
Right.
So I think we have to have both, but I don't think that you can have one without the other. So I just wanted to state that speed and productivity, love it to a degree, but there
Right.
needs to be a balance there.
That's true. And when I was working for a Fortune 30 organization, someone said to me in a very high role, she said, sometimes we have to slow down to move faster.
Hmm.
And I'm triple type A. I'm fast. I go, I think, I
Mhm.
do. Right. And I'm make no apologies for that, but I slow down. And
And
then
you move faster.
when I slow down, people say, what's wrong, Kim? So, you know what, they get used to that because,
But
right.
we're charging up. Yeah, we're charging
Yes.
up when we slow down.
Absolutely. I'm like that nuclear explosion. Okay. So, my last question in this bucket is this: why do you believe reflection is especially important for women who are
Mm.
leading early in their careers?
I think it's especially important for women
Mhm.
because it makes us more self-aware.
Absolutely.
If anyone is listening and decides to engage in the Dawn Chalk practice of asking themselves those 3 questions, you learn a lot about yourself when you
Yeah.
answer them.
Yes.
And I think there is a lot of power in the super skill of self awareness. The more that we know ourselves, especially as women, the more
Yes.
anchored we can be to our core values. And it helps me never second guess a decision because I know who I am because I've asked myself.
Right.
So I think spending time becoming more self aware
Right.
is the superpower that women should really continue to charge.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe that in this year, that at this point in time, I should say, that women, that we still have to talk about women being equal.
Right.
And that has an effect on women because it affects our self-awareness if we are not being even asked to the table.
Yeah.
So again, I think that us forcing ourselves to think about not just the bad things that happened that day, but the good things, right? I love that. That's a great practice. because we tend to be harder on ourselves.
Yeah, and I think we tend to question ourselves more because
Of
there are
course.
still less of us at those tables. So then it's
Yes,
natural to wonder why. Why is
exactly.
that the case? And then is it me? And
Yes.
imposter syndrome is one of my favorite topics to talk about because I know
Okay.
that we often have that whisper in our ears, especially as with women, we're whispering to ourselves, do I
Right.
belong? Am I too young? All of those things. Am I too old? Am I
Right.
qualified enough? Insert your whisper if you have one.
Wow.
And I think becoming self-aware quieted those whispers for
Yep.
me. And they still
Absolutely.
emerge, but they're quieter now.
Oh, I like that. You know what? There's no better segue to my next question based on what you
Okay.
just said.
Okay.
Okay. So the next bucket, again, it's on credibility, authority, and boundaries. So you're young, credentialed, and credible. How do you establish authority without over explaining or shrinking? We were just talking about that.
Ooh, I'm going to take a big exhale
Okay.
before I
Let's,
answer this.
okay,
Before I
let's,
answer this
okay, go ahead.
one,
You can have a glass of wine too if you want, and a cigarette.
I
Do you even smoke cigarettes anymore?
I do not. I don't have a glass of wine nearby, but I will pretend as if I did while I respond.
Okay.
So I love to write.
Okay.
And I recently wrote an article that was titled, Are You Boring?
Ooh.
And in that article, I referenced there's this exercise where you envision what an alien would think about you if they just observed you every single day.
Right.
So outside looking in.
Yeah.
And when I asked myself that question for the first time, one of the responses that I had written down is that the alien would describe me as boring.
Really?
Yes. And I was
Okay.
disappointed when I first had that realization, I was disappointed because I'm like, I don't want to be boring. But then, wine included, a pause, a moment of reflection, I realized it's consistency. That's what the alien would see. Showing up consistently. I do the same thing every single day, Dr. Kim Allen, every day, the same thing.
Mhm.
I have the same routine. Of course, there are flares and excitement and stuff
Right.
in between, but I'm doing the same thing every day. And if you see me today or tomorrow and we have this conversation, I'm showing up the same exact way for you every
Okay.
time.
Okay.
And it's the consistency piece for me that has helped me to not shrink and not over credential myself
Okay.
or not over explain my credentials, because I feel like if I can be confident in the consistency and
Right.
show up the same way and people know what to expect of me, they can
Right.
think what they want. That's not my business, but
Right.
I know that I've
Right.
shown up that way.
Right. Right. Wow. So I'll share a story. I won't say where this happened. I won't even say what industry, but it was after I was awarded my doctorate degree, and I was sitting around this big conference table. I was the only woman.
Mhm.
And the one gentleman that was running the meeting came in and said, "Oh, good morning, Dr. Jones, Dr. Uh, Conway, well, not you, and whatever, Dr. Green, Dr. Blue, uh, Dr. Sofa, Kim."
Ugh. Ugh.
And I felt
That's
like
the noise
saying,
I want to make.
right? I was like, okay, because I don't shrink around anyone. But I was like, wow, you're like trying to make me like you're shrinking me. And of
Yeah.
course, I think I probably took over the meeting at that point because I was so mad. But anyway, so I just think that the word shrinking it triggers me. I don't like that
It
for anyone, not just women. I don't like that for anyone. We should
no,
not be right. We should not feel the need to shrink around anyone. Oh my gosh. I love to be talked about. I tell everyone, talk about me. I love it. Right?
it's not my business. It could be my business. But it's not my business.
Yes. Oh, I love that.
So your
Okay.
example is so very powerful because
Yeah.
we can be made to want to shrink in those environments. But
Right.
to your point, we can make the choice to not shrink.
That's
And
it.
that I think that's what I hope that's the takeaway from this part of the conversation is you can choose not that all of that can happen.
Absolutely.
And unfortunately still does happen. I have stories that I can share that aren't necessary to be shared because but we don't
Yes.
have to shrink.
No. And who's that fighter? Is it Mike Tyson?
Sure, he's a fighter.
He's funny. Is that him?
Yeah,
With
Mike
the
Tyson
tattoo.
is a fighter.
Yeah, he's
I
a
think
fighter,
so.
right? Right. And I love it because, he's funny when he'll say, and again, I'm thinking it's him. Like, I pity the fool that tries to fight me. Right. Well, I don't say that, but I pity anyone that tries to make me shrink because I just breathe fire on them. Right. I don't know. I'm a Philly girl. I guess that's what we do. Anyway. All right. So when you fully stepped into the title Dr. Conway, how did it shift your internal sense of authority? Not just how you respond to how others respond to you. So again, when you stepped into that, because now I don't know if anyone's calling you Dr. Conway yet, are they? But they know, right?
They know. And I would love to have a personal conversation with you 6 months from now, a year from
Okay.
now, always, and share a more updated perspective on this because I am just stepping into it.
Yeah.
As you know, this is very new to me.
Right.
So I am not sure what will be different to answer your question, but I do know what will stay the same. And then maybe you can give me some advice as to what
Okay.
you think will be different. So what will stay the same, specifically as an educator and one that really respects every
Right.
single student that I have in the classroom,
Yes.
is when I have a new class or I'm introducing myself to a group of students or colleagues, whomever it may be, I always make sure that if we were meeting in person, you would get a hug, I'm sure, but I give a handshake and I really feel that handshake and interact with that student for the first time and say,
Yeah.
you and I, we are colleagues. There's always, and within colleagues, there's a degree of separation. I think the credential validates my experience and makes me feel more confident in the knowing part of it all. But
Right.
otherwise, I don't know what else will change when I am called Dr. Conway more consistently.
Well, you're an author.
I
So when I
am.
say Michelle Conway's an author, does that make you feel awkward?
No.
Okay. Case closed. Because when people start referring to you as Dr. Michelle Conway, first of all, you earned it. And my mom was sitting in the room when I came back in, and I did that for her and my husband and my family, of course. But she was funny. She said to me, Kim, she said, when you're in the classroom, you have to make sure they call you Dr. Kim Allen. And of course, at first I thought, oh, but I taught for 13 years at Immaculata University. I taught adult learners on
Yeah.
campus and also the satellite accounts, right? And these are people that worked all day. And we're spending like from 6 until 10 o'clock at night. And sometimes they would just vent or whatever. But I found that it was easier for me because we were around the same age, having a great time during learning.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt that some of them would call me Dr. Allen, which was fine. But I felt that it was important for them to realize that I was not their friend. I was working, right? My job was to make sure that they were educated with collegiate material. So for me, I heard my mom say that, but at the same time, I realized, wow. And I didn't walk in ever. I never walked in and said, this is what you call me. If they said, what should I call you? I would say, because they would say, can I call you professor? I'm like, yeah, you can, but that's kind of weird. Like, I thought that was weird, not Dr. Allen.
Yeah, I think that will be the biggest shift for me is I haven't had a new class where I've introduced myself as Dr. Conway at the start of that class, because even this new semester that started, I was still in the process. We have to publish our dissertations to ProQuest and have it go through the whole the whole publication process before it's officially official.
Yes.
So I'm still going through that process. So even with the May 9th date out of mind, I really wanted that to be complete before anything else.
Sure.
So I haven't introduced myself in front of the classroom in that way formally. And when I do, I know that's going to feel good.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm excited for you. I should be there. I should be there to film that.
Oh, well, you're welcome. We're planning a time for you to come to Misericordia. So you can come anytime you are invited. Right? We will provide you with lots of love.
They don't know what will hit them with the two of us in a room. Oh my gosh. All right. So I've 4 more questions, but 2 more buckets. The next one is mentorship and leadership. Yeah. So Dr. Conway, What
Yeah.
role has mentorship played in your journey so far? And how has your understanding of mentorship evolved?
So I mentioned this briefly, but I am a culmination of all of the wonderful mentors that I have had over time.
Right.
I attribute any success that I've had to those mentors.
Yes.
And why I am so grateful to be one of the reasons I'm so grateful to be in this room with you is because, as we talked about, you may have not experienced, I know you haven't experienced mentors at the age that I have, or
Mhm.
my first mentor was assigned to me when I was 18 years old, 19 years old.
Mm.
So the fact that I've had mentors for so long and they have continued to mentor me is such a magical thing. And I often describe myself as a sponge and encourage my students to be sponges because I have just
Right.
taken in all of these golden nuggets from my mentors, soaked them in, absorbed them,
Yeah.
decided what I wanted to keep and what I didn't.
Yes.
And that makes all of the difference. So to my mentors, can I give 2 shout outs?
Yes.
Okay. Don Webster, my very first mentor, my mentor now, and also my friend, which I think is a very special part of mentorship when you
Mm.
transition into a phase of life where there's
Yes.
still a mentor mentee relationship, but there's also a friendship. So that.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Sue Riley was my first female mentor, the first woman
Right.
that mentored me. And that was and
Mm.
still is an extremely special and deep relationship.
Wow. I love that. Okay. So, from your perspective, then, what barriers still exist for young women in academia? And how do you see your generation reshaping the path forward?
Before I answer that, I just need to tell you that there's something on your screen. Half of you is covered now for me. There you go. You're back.
Oh, that's odd.
I
Okay.
got you. It was just for a moment. So your question was how are things different changing in
Yes.
academia for
Yes.
women?
Yes. And how do you see your generation reshaping the path forward?
So I have to quote our dear friend, Dr. Lisa Norton, Dean
Oh,
at
Lisa.
Misericordia. She was on your podcast
She is
recently,
amazing.
and she said something really special. She said, and I hope I'm quoting this word for word, something like education is freedom.
Yes.
Did she say that? Am I
Yes.
remembering that? Okay.
She did say that.
And I echo that 100%. I
Yes.
think that education and exposure to academia provides women specifically with the sense of freedom and
Yes.
access that we would not have if we were not
I agree.
exposed to those environments.
I agree with you.
I don't know about you. I'm a first generation student. So both my parents, they have technical degrees. I have 3 older brothers, and my
Mhm.
oldest brother did pave the way, and he was the first one of us to achieve a 4-year degree.
Wow.
And education completely transformed the course of my life. I know that.
Right. Right.
And when I defended my dissertation in my opening remarks, I stated transparently that just 15 years ago, I didn't know anyone that had a PhD.
Mhm.
I didn't know what a PhD was. If you
Right.
asked me, if we were in passing and you said, "Hey, Michelle, can you tell?" I would have not known.
Mhm.
So my goal is to expose more young women, more women in general, more girls to
Yes.
what it looks like to access
Yes.
education, and
Yes.
also providing support and resources and knowledge around how to enter into an
Yes.
education that is meaningful. And it's a
Yes.
privilege to be educated. Of course, access to education from a financial standpoint is difficult and complicated, and all those things need to be discussed more often.
Absolutely. Okay, so 2 more questions as we look ahead. As you
Sure.
prepare to formally walk and enter this next chapter, how has your definition of success changed?
So I think this really relates back to our first question together. I used to think I'll be happy when. It was something that would come to my mind. I'll be happy when I get married. I'll be happy when I purchase my first home. I'll be happy when I achieve my PhD. Insert whatever that is.
Yes.
And what this process really taught me is I look forward to being content now. there isn't this major milestone that I have on the horizon. I have goals, of course, but I'm really looking forward to spreading goodness every day and just being here in this, living in this,
Yes.
and
Yes.
enjoying that and sharing that with others. That's
Okay.
what's changed for me. Success used to be that end goal, that I'll be happy when insert.
Yes.
And whenever I got to that point, it was like it was flat, you know?
Yep.
I felt
Yes.
like there was going to be this, even when I defended my dissertation successfully, I of course felt joy and excitement, but then it
Yes.
was over. Then it's done.
I know. I know.
So living for now and celebrating the process, as I mentioned when we opened our conversation today, that's going to redefine success for me.
Okay. So our final question, Dr.
Oh.
Michelle Conway, looking ahead, for women listening who feel early, late, or out of sync with traditional timelines, what do you want them to trust about their own becoming?
Out of sync with traditional timelines. Throw the timeline out the window. My girls, my boys, whoever is listening, throw
That's
it
right.
out. There does not need to be a timeline. Celebrate the process of becoming. That is where I want to land. Celebrate the process. It is such a beautiful thing to be messy. I want to be messy all the time. I want to be in the mess. I want to figure it out. That is magic to me. I love it. I can't talk about it enough, because once I figured out that the mess is where the magic happens, it was like, okay, we're going to be okay. And it's going to be great.
I love that. Well, Dr. Michelle Conway, you are the magic for me, and you're the magic for this whole audience, because you're saying now that you've achieved your PhD, what's next? And if you don't have anything planned right away, I have some advice that you're not asking for. And that's just go be around other people, especially people your age, and especially those younger, because they're going to see the things that you've achieved. And that might give them momentum to try to be like you when they grow up, whatever age that may be. So I think you're amazing. I know this is the beginning of a great friendship. I think you are amazing. I am so grateful, and thank you for being on the Fabulous Women Podcast Studio. And as I end all of my podcasts, everyone, I always ask for you to pay it forward, and also do that for the younger generation coming up, whether they're men, women, people. Just don't make them have to kick the doors open or break down those brick walls. It shouldn't be that way. And it doesn't matter if you're midway in your career or even if you're towards the end of your career, that if we have the opportunity to pay it forward, I hear that Michelle does that, right?
Thank you. Well, I like to say, don't just invite them to the table, pull up a chair. And pull up inviting to the table is great. And if that's the starting point, awesome. But yes, pull up the chair.
Absolutely. I love that. Well, there's no better way to end than that. So for everyone watching, please continue to watch my podcast. They live on my YouTube channel. And also stay tuned. I'm on LinkedIn and the other social media too, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. But a lot of big announcements coming. Something really big is coming. Very excited about this. So watch for the announcements. And until next time, stay fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.